I'm a little tired of hearing the Marv hate, and I think there's even some people who don't even believe that he could be like that true wide receiver one, like
Oh
be
no,
that guy for them. I think Marv goes out this season and proves everybody wrong. I think he's that guy, and I think he's that good.
I don't know off the top of my head exactly what Marvin Harrison Jr.'s season looked like, but I know that there were moments where I would look through and just be like, dang, I want more from him, but that's not really up to him. I feel like he at first felt like he got a lot of targets. I don't really know exactly what the number looked like as the season progressed, but um, Trey McBride was like pretty clearly the number one target here in
Right?
Arizona. And
You were saying that about Marv, right?
yeah, what did I say?
No, I was just making the first. I was just making sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. That
yeah, I mean
I
Trey
there
McBride.
was I wanted more from Marv this season, but like again, that's not like fully his
See, I
fault if
think
the offense wasn't looking great.
I'm defending Marvin Harrison Jr. like to a T on this one. He had 62 receptions for 885 yards and 8 touchdowns. His two guys who I would put him against are Malik Neighbors and BTJ. And Neighbors had 109 receptions, and Brian Thomas Jr. had 87 receptions. And I think Neighbors finished the season with like 150 plus targets. I know that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so there's uh, two things. I'm not even going to compare him to Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas because, um, like you were about to rattle off, he got less targets probably than both of those guys. I think I was kind of let down because he was projected as the most surefire lock. Everybody was putting him on this absurd pedestal, and rightfully so. He was phenomenal at Ohio State, and it can take different amounts of time when you get to the NFL with different receivers. But the amount of talk about him coming out of college, I expected a little bit more. Like I at least expected him to have 1,000 yards.
What more do you want? I think like the perceived like rookie season at this point is so skewed
It is.
that
I completely
that
agree.
like
That's
that
I'm
like
guilty.
that like Marvin Harrison had exactly what you wanted to have from a team, from a wide receiver that you took in the first round. I think that the biggest issue with what happened with Marvin Harrison Jr. this season was the way that Drew Petzing decided to get him targets. Where if you watched Arizona Cardinals games, which I've spent a lot of time watching Arizona Cardinals games, is probably 50% of the time when Marvin Harrison Jr. was to get a target, it was in tight one-on-one
Yeah.
coverage where they were expecting him to go and win the ball instead of, and that was not in the flow of a football game. That
Right.
was like his random every third pass was when he got a target was an extremely high difficulty of catch, which I thought wasn't the best way to use Marvin the entire year. So I think that is a major reason of why people weren't like wowed and jumped off the screen when Marv like was playing the entire season. I think he had moments, but I think it was how they were trying to get him the ball within the flow of a football game never flowed. It was always wonky, and it was always, hey, win this last second, put your hands out and win a catch in tight one-on-one coverage and be a guy. And I think that he can do that. I think he'll continue to grow into that. But at some point, you need to look at him and get him some easy targets, just
Yeah.
like how every other top wide receiver in the NFL gets. I mean, you look at Marv run a slant route when they gave it to him this season. Marv would be the best slant runner in the entire league if they allowed him to do it. So
Slant
I
man.
think whatever, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that it's time that that Osama bin Petzing gets a little bit more hate for how he coached this team this season. And I think that led to a lot of problems with the inconsistent quarterback play that you saw from Kyler.
Yeah.
And they had an extremely low pass rate, I think second last in the NFL. And I know that Kyler has had inconsistent quarterback play his entire career, so it kind of fits the mold of what was going on. And I don't think Kyler is a guy that you should look at and be like, throw on the Superman cape and go win us games. But the way that the Arizona Cardinals play in a run heavy offense, I think that if the pass game is designed correctly with the pieces that they have, I think that this offense could be, if this was a top 10 offensive DVOA the entire season. I think that we're talking, if this team takes the next step in the passing game, which I think that they will this upcoming season, I think this is a top 5 offense the entire season across the board in rushing and passing. I think this team has the potential to be the real deal.
I will also say that I agree with you that I am slightly biased, like skewed, because I'm looking here at like the rookie receiving yards records, and like the top of the out of the top 10 guys for rookie receivers. Well, I mean, I can go to the top 15 guys. It's all been like Ladd McConkey's in there, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua. Those are all guys that have been in the NFL for 3 years max. Yeah. And like, those are all recent. So in my head, I'm like, oh, this guy, generational wide receiver coming out, didn't even, he was 300 yards short of this. But I do agree with you at the coaching standpoint of this, because I saw it too. They really made it difficult for Marv on offense to generate easy targets and easy catches, which I will say that some of these other guys didn't necessarily have that same issue. But at the same time, I think that aside from Puka and who's Justin Jefferson's rookie year quarterback? Never mind. These guys all had like decently like, I think Kyler Murray's right up there with like the other list of these guys as far as like decent quarterback play. Like Puka had
what was the pass
Stafford.
Rate? What was the pass rate of those offenses? Like this offense,
was Jamar Chase had 1,400 yards.
This offense was second to last in pass rate the entire season.
That's fair.
They weren't a pass rate team. Do you know who's a pretty good player?
Too. But also Ladd McConkey's wide receiver 1 over there. Trey McBride is their number 1 target.
But do you know who also was a pretty good wide receiver? His name was Marvin Harrison. He's a Hall of Famer, actually.
Pretty good, yeah.
His rookie year, he had 64 receptions, 136 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So I think that it's absolutely ridiculous that Marv was 200 yards away from. If Marv had 200 more yards and 200 touchdowns, people would be throating him. So
2 more touchdowns.
So I don't want
200 touchdowns.
My bad. I don't want to. I think that like I'm a little tired of hearing the Marv hate, and I think there's even some people who don't even believe that he could be like that true wide receiver 1, that guy for them. I think Marv goes out this season and proves everybody wrong. I think he's that guy, and I think he's that good.
White clouds blowing out when we max 4-5, not the size, but it kick up high line.